Welcome to Falcon Update here on YBTV. I'm Danielle Leppert.
And I'm Nate Harlacker. YBTV is hosting a special guest coming up on December 2nd.
Next Monday, YBTV is hosting a special edition town hall with Provost Christine Gardner right here. The show will be an hour long and we'll be able to understand what a provost does, what her vision is for Messiah, and a little bit about her background. Our viewers will also have the opportunity to drop live questions in our Instagram story and in our comment box on YouTube. Make sure to tune in. For YBTV, it's Rosie Sciano sending it back to the desk.
Make sure to tune in next Monday at 7 p.m. on our Instagram and YouTube. Our handles are @YellowBreechesTV.
Throughout the year, the Career and Professional Development Center hosts events for students to stretch their networking skills and talk to professionals across a variety of career paths. The Oaks Museum was filled with the chatter of students and alumni connecting at this year's annual Mocktail event, hosted by the Career and Professional Development Center. Students had the opportunity to connect with a multitude of professionals in their desired field. Attendees enjoyed refreshing mocktails and a buffet of appetizers as they conversated. For more upcoming networking events,
any chance that you have to practice introducing yourself and making professional connections is really, really helpful. And so if it's something that you feel a little intimidated by, I encourage you to come next year.
For more upcoming networking events, be sure to check your email and visit the Career and Professional Development Center webpage online at messiah.edu.
What better way to bring in the Thanksgiving season than with a day full of gratitude? The Office of Student Success and Student Financial Services did just that with their third annual Thank You Thursday. Students who stopped by were treated to free coffee, donuts, and hot chocolate, courtesy of Dunkin'. Goodie bags were also handed out as a token of appreciation to students. The event was held to allow students to connect with the OSS and SFS and encourage them to stop by to take advantage of the office's resources.
Program once a semester during the fall of each school year. So it's just a good time for students to grab a donut, hot cocoa or a coffee, and head to class or head to chapel.
For more information about what the Office of Student Success and Student Financial Services offer, stop by their offices at the Kim Phipps Admission and Welcome Center to learn more.
At Messiah, there are many resources available for students to support them through their college experience. Sexuality and Gender Education hosts a cocoa and info outside at the Agape Center. Students coming both to and from classes were invited to swing by and grab a free cup of hot chocolate to add extra warmth to their day. Emma Daughtery told us more about the event.
So we are here today with hot chocolate and information about how to help a friend who might be experiencing gender-based violence.
All over campus, people paid a visit to the stand while students fixed their cup. They got to learn the best advice for helping friends in need. For more information regarding sexuality and gender education, visit messiah.edu/sage.
We'll be back with more Falcon Update after this break.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The Collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
Messiah has helped me see my career anew because of the multiple opportunities that I have on campus to travel with the career centers. And so because of that, I've been able to obtain an internship through Messiah, and that's just amazing. I never would have gotten that opportunity without Messiah.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. I'm Nate Harlacher.
And I'm Danielle Leppert. Nate, tell me a little bit about your weekend.
My weekend consisted of hanging out with some of my friends that I haven't seen in quite some time, as we all got home for Thanksgiving break. Unlike us, unfortunately, but hey, we got one more day of that, and then we'll be on to our break. How about yourself?
My weekend was very good. I had Friendsgiving with the girls that I live with, so that was really nice to have.
That's perfect. Love getting together for Friendsgiving. I might be doing that myself as we get into some chillier weather this week, and Garrett Fannin brings you this week's weather report.
Thank you so much. Let's get right into it. Right now, we have 51-degree weather. We are going to see mostly cloudy skies right now. It's a little bit dark right now, but that's okay. We got 56-degree high, so that's going to be about a sweatshirt, and then we got a low of 32. That's going to be a puffy jacket. We got precipitation at 2%, nothing to worry about there, and we got humidity at 61%. For the surface map, you can see this grade and stuff, and that's going to be rain and possibly some snow. It's going to come down south towards the east, towards us. So it's going to be some cold coming in, okay? So also prayers going down in Florida, obviously, because just terrible what happened there. So temperature, we can see some colder air coming through, some dark spots over here. You can see it start to come, it's going to start to come south and come east. So towards Harrisburg and Mechanicsburg, Lancaster. For all those people going home, please just bundle up, okay? So as we go on to the humidity, we can see Monday we got 60. It's going to go up to 62, then 50, then up to 76, then down to 57 by Friday. Just going to keep that 60% range, so that's okay. For Tuesday, we got 7 a.m. coming down at 47. It's going to go up to 53 towards like the mid to low 50s towards to 4 p.m. Then to 7 p.m. it's going to go 42 and then down to 39. So please bundle up as we go home towards Tuesday. On the 7-day forecast, we got Tuesday at 54 degrees. Coming down to 31 that night. And it's going to keep getting colder as the week goes on. Maybe some snow and rain towards Thursday and Friday. So we stay tuned for that. But it just keeps getting colder. And I just hope that you guys can bundle up for that time. But anyways, that is all for Falcon Forecast. I'm Garrett Fannin. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Garrett. Let's see what events are taking place on campus before break. Cameron?
Welcome back to this week's edition of Campus Calendar. I'm Cameron Fisher. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here on campus, but before we get into the holly jolly spirit, let's take a look at what's happening leading up to Thanksgiving break. On Tuesday, go support your fellow Falcons as the women's basketball team takes on their crosstown rival, the Dickinson Devils, in Hitchcock Arena at 7 p.m. Be loud, be proud, and go Falcons. Make sure to get down to the Augenball Art Gallery to see A Length of Time, a retrospective works by Donald and Christine Forsythe. This exhibit will be open now through December 15th, excluding holidays, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's all for this week. I hope you enjoy the 98th Annual Macy's Parade, the food, and yes, even the football on Thursday, and we'll see you back here for the final push of the semester next Monday. I'm Cameron Fisher on behalf of all of us here at YBTV, wishing you a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Cameron. Danielle, what is one thing that you would leave off your Thanksgiving plate?
I am going to have to say stuffing. I feel like it has the potential to be great, but it's just so easy to make it dry, and I feel like a lot of times it just gets messed up.
Well, you're having the wrong stuffing. when cranberries exist, you're going to say stuffing? I mean, to each their own.
I
to
just
each their
tried
own.
cranberry sauce for the first time during our Friendsgiving. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fantastic.
Exactly. It is never fantastic,
No.
according to me. So you just got to mix the stuffing with the mashed potatoes. That's where it gets all together, and it's all it's not as dry as you said it was. So.
Well, let's not forget about this week's Falcon on the Street. Katie Murphy asks students what shouldn't be making it on the Thanksgiving plate. Katie?
Hi everyone, my name's Katie Murphy, and for this week's edition of Falcon on the Street, we'll be going around and asking people what would you get rid of for your Thanksgiving plate.
Okay, I would definitely, if I were to get rid of one Thanksgiving thing, if you think that mac and cheese is a Thanksgiving food, you gotta go, because it's good, but it's not on the Thanksgiving meal. Like, it should be like Christmas or like Easter, you know what I mean? So, definitely mac and cheese, even though it's good, just not for Thanksgiving.
I would get rid of mashed potatoes. I just think sweet potatoes are better, and you can put like more toppings and stuff on them. So yeah.
Mashed potatoes. We're getting rid of mashed potatoes.
I would disagree because cranberry sauce is the worst thing on this planet, and mashed potatoes, you actually get filled.
You put the cranberry sauce on the turkey.
Why would you put the cranberry sauce on the turkey?
It tastes good.
And that's savory. Why would you do that? Wow. Guys, I'd get rid of the cranberry sauce. I don't know about this, but I'm a mashed potatoes lover, so I'm on your side. What do you want to get rid of Thanksgiving dinner? What are you getting rid of?
Cranberry sauce.
Okay, we need another taker. What are you getting rid of Thanksgiving dinner?
What was the question?
What are you getting rid of Thanksgiving dinner? What do you not like?
I guess chitlins.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but a type of food. Chitlins, we're getting rid of them. All right, you're next. Last one. What are you getting rid of Thanksgiving dinner?
Sweet potatoes.
No offense to my family, but I'd definitely be getting rid of the dry, bland turkey. No, it's disgusting. Well, that's all for this week's edition of Falcon on the Street. For YBTV, I'm Katie Murphy.
I'm glad some people agree with me on the cranberries. But great job, Katie, as always. Danielle, what is your favorite country song and why?
I'm going to have to say Wildflowers and Wild Horses by Lainey Wilson. Love her. It's great. Yeah. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite country song?
My favorite country song definitely have to be Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. One of the greatest country singers of all time. Personally, my favorite. I listen to him all the time. A Spotify Rap comes out at the end of the year. He should be my number one. If he's not, I'll be very surprised. So yeah, I would definitely say that is my favorite. I like your little southern twang you had there, just describing Lainey Wilson.
Thank you.
Interesting. Well, alumni Dylan Calligris is a country singer that went on to pursue a music career in Nashville, Tennessee. Jessica Fannin has the story.
When I graduated college, I thought I was going to be a worship pastor. I feel like the Lord, revealed to me that it was the songs that, I'm called to do. As much as I have respect and admiration for worship leading, and I've done a lot of it, in a volunteer capacity since, I feel more called to creating country music.
Life short, so breathing.
Honestly, I've always just been connected to country music. I think I learned how to sing by singing along to George Strait and Travis Tritt on the radio. So why country music? It's just in me. It's in my DNA. It's in the way that I write and the way that I sing. One thing I don't get to talk a lot about is my family history. And as crazy as it sounds, the concept was that as a kid I may have formulated a father figure out of country singers. And I think it's important to talk about this because there's a lot of single parent families now. I think I carry a little bit of that with me in my songwriting, is just trying to provide a little bit of connection for somebody. It doesn't have to be all of it. It doesn't have to be the thing that someone leans on. I think I had formulated in my mind as a little kid an image of a dad that looked like George Strait, tucked in button up and the cowboy hat and the Wranglers and just just a solid guy. I learned later that those were called the hat acts. Because the guys that played the everyman with a cowboy hat was apparently a fad in the 90s, but it influenced me tremendously. country music is home. It's just what I want to do. And it's where I feel most comfortable and where I can be most genuine.
Thanks, Jessica. You can check out Caligriss's recent release called The Way You Sing on all streaming platforms.
After the break, Emma and Danny will catch you up on all things Messiah Sports. Stick around.
What drew me to Messiah was when I was looking for graduate programs, that it was real people and they were welcoming me to the program. They were interested in who I was as a person, they were interested in my career goals, and they truly just welcomed me before I was even a student.
At Messiah University, in our graduate program of Business and Leadership, we offer an MBA with various concentrations, a Master of Arts in Healthcare Leadership, a Master of Arts in Strategic Leadership, and various graduate certificates. All of our graduate programs in Business and Leadership are accredited by ACBSP, which is main governing body for business programs, both at the graduate and undergraduate level.
So I found that the online instruction at Messiah was high quality. Definitely a good experience and an experience that maintained community, even though we were separated by geography sometimes of considerable distances.
Our online courses are capped at 15. This enables students to really develop a deep connection with faculty as they're being mentored throughout the program.
They brought their business experience to every single class. So our professors are teaching us, this is what it's like in the real world, and this is how you can take all the stuff out of this book, all this leadership theory, and practically apply it in the workplace.
I would highly recommend Messiah's programs because I feel very cared for by the faculty. They do a great job of making you apply your faith to where you're working. The MBA program is a good reminder that you can be a faithful business professional, and I just feel like I'm becoming a better person and I'm going to be a better future leader because of this program.
I've always had a strong love of the business world, but I always wanted to keep on growing my faith. And what Messiah helped me do was pair my faith with business so I could be a Christian in the workplace. The professors were role models of how to do that. What I learned in class taught me the interpersonal skills and the hard skills. Take two things that I loved, my faith and business, and pair that together moving forward.
Absolutely filthy goal there. Boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome back to YBTV Sports here on Falcon Update. I'm Emma Dingus.
And I'm Danny Johnson. Messiah's winter sports are officially in full swing now, with wrestling, swimming, and basketball all competing this week.
Messiah Wrestling competed in 3 dual matches on Saturday against Rowan College, Shenandoah University, and host Muhlenberg College. The Falcons started the day against Rowan College, defeating Roadrunners by a team score of 46-9. The Falcons then took to the host of Muhlenberg College, winning 32-13. Final match of the day, the team took on Shenandoah University, winning 47-3, going 3-0 on the day. The Falcons will host the Petrov Invitational here at home starting December 6th.
Messiah Swimming competed in the Electric City Invitational, a multi-day event held over the weekend in Scranton. The men finished 3rd overall in the Invitational with 6 individual podium finishes over the weekend, including 2 gold medals. The women took 2nd as a team, finishing with 964 points as a team, including 18 podium finishes and 6 gold medals. The teams don't compete again until after winter break, when they travel to Dickinson College on January 18th.
Now it's time to move into the highlights with this week's Falcon 4. Let's start off our highlights in Yoder Arena as the men's basketball team traveled to Harrisonburg, Virginia to compete against the Eastern Mennonite University. It was a back-and-forth game when Christian Jackson stepped up to deliver this layup for the Falcons. And we'll see here, Jackson at the top of the arc takes it up for the layup. And we'll look at that again here as he just glides his way with the hezzy here, breaking through defenders, making it look like it's nothing with the left-handed layup to get the Falcons the score. The Blue Lions would respond to tie up the game, sending it to overtime.
We are going to take our next highlight to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where our women's volleyball team battled against the University of Laverne in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Shani Barnhart came up huge to earn this point. Here, down 14-6 in the third set, Laverne with a beautiful spike, and Shani Barnhart, a rolling dive, gets it back over. Laverne's able to set this one back up, and out of nowhere, Shani Barnhart with the block to get Messiah to 7 points here. We'll see it again, set up. Shani Barnhart's going to take that, dig it up, and then get right back up and in her position all alone with a block on one of probably Laverne's best spikers. And the hustle just was not enough for the Falcons as they dropped this match 3-0. Messiah Women's Volleyball had an all-around fantastic year as they claimed a conference title for the first time in program history. This was also their first appearance at the NCAA tournament in 39 years.
Women's soccer traveled to St. Louis to face off against the Phoenixes of the University of Chicago in the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. Chicago led the game 2-1 when Hannah Adair delivered this game-tying goal to send the Falcons into overtime. We'll take a look at it here as the pass is sent. Adair stays onside and hits it into the back of the net. Take a look at this again here. Just great awareness by Adair to keep onsides long enough to be able to find the ball and place it to the back of the net to give the tying score to the Falcons. But unfortunately, the Falcons would lose in overtime due to a penalty kick score. They end their season with a record of 18-2-3, winning the MAC for the 6th year in a row and making the Sweet 16 for the 3rd time in a row.
For our last highlight, we are going to Hitchcock Arena, where Messiah Women's Basketball took on the Eagles of Mary Washington University on Saturday. Sydney Hoffman shows her skills with this pass to Montero. Milanese takes the pass, dribbles around down the line, and then Sydney Hoffman pump fake down to Montero for a beautiful, easy layup for the Falcons here. Milanese receives the pass, good pass to Sydney Hoffman, pump fake, 2 defenders on her, and dishes it right to Liv Montero for an easy layup. This was an exciting game between the Battle of the Birds. The Falcons defeated the Eagles 66-40 to extend their winning streak to 5 and to stay undefeated. The team will host Dickinson College in their final home game before 2025 on Tuesday, November 26th.
Some great highlights this week, including our final women's and women's volleyball highlights of the season, Danny. We want to again congratulate them both on their amazing seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying with volleyball, though, we already mentioned briefly last week about the historic MAC Commonwealth Championship win for the program. And this week, our own James Hellman got the chance to sit down with some key figures of the team this season and talk about the milestone.
The Messiah women's volleyball team is 1 point away from the first MAC Commonwealth title in program history. Can they do it? We've set the team a destiny. Uresti with the serve.
The first ever women's volleyball title in program history was the culmination of years of hard work. But for the players, getting to represent Messiah together is the biggest accomplishment.
It has been the biggest blessing, one of the biggest blessings of my life, to be on this team. And to see how Coach has grown our culture and to have my class be a part of that growth from my freshman year to now has been huge.
Starting off like preseason, it was really nervous and like nerve-wracking, not sure like what to expect and everything. But the seniors, I feel like they kind of like took us all under their wing and stuff and showed us like what Messiah volleyball is really all about, and just helping us like see the drive and the energy, and like starting out from the beginning, like being prepared to win the MAC championships and that being our goal for the year. And I feel like they did like a really good job like helping us see that goal, and then obviously helping us work hard enough to get that goal.
For Coach Holly Motherall, coaching this team has been about finding the balance between faith in Christ while maintaining success.
I think coming into the program here, it was always like a good volleyball program. Definitely ladies who loved the Lord and loved being at Messiah. I wouldn't say it was the most competitive.
This balance of Christ and success is what the team strived for, highlighted by the determination of this year's senior class.
Players, and especially like my seniors who met with me, I think it was either after their freshman year or sophomore year, a couple of them came in and were like, we want more. I was like, great, me too. A lot of that has to come from you guys and what you allow to happen and how you hold each other accountable, whether that's in practice or in the off season when coaches aren't around. And so they kind of like shifted that culture, and you could just tell they've wanted it for so long.
For the players, it will be a while before the winning feeling wears off.
I don't know. It kind of is like surreal that we won a MAC championship and that it's the first one in program history. But it feels like a movie, I guess. I don't know. It just is exciting.
Yeah, it does. It's like, it's kind of a shocker, like coming in, like first year, boom, MAC championship for the first time ever. Like, I'm so glad we could pull out the win for our seniors. They really deserved it. Like, all the hard work that they've put in, even the juniors and sophomores too. Like, everyone has put in so much work, same with Coach. It's been awesome.
For YBTV Sports, I'm James Hellman.
That is such an inspiring story. I always love to see Messiah Athletics achieving their hard-earned goals.
It's true, and last weekend it was the end of our fall season sports, so it's a great time to look back on all the accomplishments that all these teams have made. But now we get to look forward to winter sports coming up, which is definitely going to be good.
Yes, well, we'll see what these final weeks bring for some of our sports teams. And I'm looking forward to our next show with the Provost. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for some Thanksgiving dinner. Enjoy your break, Messiah, and we'll see you next week.
What time is it? Oh man, I slept with Falcon Update. I'm gonna be late. Oh man, what did that nap do to my hair? Oh man, this is not good. I don't got any time to fix it. Come on, just cooperate. Just go out. No. Come on. That's not it. That's not doing it either. Dude, what the heck? It's the worst hair day I've had in years. I think at this point, I might have to wear a hat. I mean, as long as it's Messiah approved, they wouldn't really care if I wear a hat on air, right? It can't be that big a deal. Yeah, maybe not the hat. Not the best look. All right, there we go. Finally. Now I just have 3 minutes to get to the studio. Good evening and welcome to YB Tonight. I'm your host, James Hellman. Today we have Elijah Eid, a well-known barber on campus, who will be joining us, and I will be asking him some questions while he is cutting our very own Caleb Kukin's hair. So now introducing to the stage, Caleb Kukin. This is going to take us longer than our designated 30 minutes, so Caleb, why don't you give us a little 180, show us what we're working with in the before. Looks great. Elijah has a great base to work with, and we'll be right back after this break where Caleb will be getting his haircut live on air.
Higher education is in deep need of bright, caring, and capable students, people who desire to effect positive change, who lead out of their core values and their identity in Christ. And at Messiah's program, we take seriously the calling to equip students to do just that.
Our graduate program has two pathways that we focus on. One is a degree in higher education with concentration areas, and the other is the degree in intercollegiate athletic leadership.
The online courses in the program made it really flexible. As a working professional, it was easy to stay on top of my coursework. I feel like the online environment didn't detract any from that personal experience I was able to get in the program.
I didn't just want a degree that was a piece of paper and something to put next to my name. I wanted a degree program that was going to challenge me and push me to grow not only as a coach and possible future administrator, but also as a servant of Christ.
What greatly appealed to me was that I wouldn't feel like a number, and so going throughout the entire program, I just feel like I left knowing my classmates so well, I knew faculty members so well, and built connections that I will continue to use throughout my professional and personal life.
Messiah has helped me see my career anew because of the multiple opportunities that I have on campus to travel with the career centers. And so because of that, I've been able to obtain an internship through Messiah, and that's just amazing. I never would have gotten that opportunity without Messiah.
Back. I'm here with Elijah Eid, better known as Eid Fades. Elijah, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. All right, so you started cutting Caleb's hair during Falcon Update.
I did. I got started.
So we are going to do our interviewing. We're going to start interviewing here now, and just starting with that, as you kind of go through the haircut here, what inspired you to become a barber?
Yeah, so I actually started senior year with cutting hair. My dad always cut my brother and I's hair when we were growing up, and then I always tell people one day, he decided to cut his own hair, and I said, Dad, you messed up. Like, you messed up in the back. And he was like, no, I didn't. I was like, yes, you did. So he's, grab the clippers. Come on, I'll teach you how to do it. So I started practice on him for about a year before I got to college. And then once I did get to college freshman year, I thought, okay, well, my dad cut hair in college. He had a nice side hustle. So I might as well get some clippers. Try to convince a couple guys on my floor to let me at least give them a lineup, and then maybe start from there and have a little side hustle, a little business. So yeah, it's been a great opportunity to like bless people, serve people, also get to know guys I never would have known, and also just, yeah, glorify the Lord.
So you mentioned your dad there a little bit, at least helping you get your start in this barber kind of industry, but is there anybody else, maybe a specific barber that inspires you as you continue to move forward in this work?
I wouldn't say anybody in particular. I would just say, like, you know, I'm self-taught, so like all the barbers I, you know, looked at on YouTube for different tutorials and whatnot. Those guys really kind of set the standard of excellence that I was able to kind of learn from, watch, and then, you know, do myself. So no one in particular. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we talk a little bit about the business that you run here on campus, Eid Fades?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So you just want to tell me a little bit about kind of the logistics of it?
Yeah. So when I first started out, I wasn't really getting too many guys. But now that I've got a decent client base, I kind of had to fit it in with my studies and make that work as well. So what I had to do is set up a little bit of a booking site, a little bit of a calendar, so guys could come in and like set a time that works for them. Because I'd be going back and forth with guys like, hey, you know, does 4 o'clock on Tuesday work? And they'd be like, nope, I got class then. And then it would go back and forth. We have 5 different guys, so I said, all right, let me set up a little online booking thing so they can just book a time, and then I'm able to serve guys and give them great haircuts. So yeah, it's been great.
So anybody that you look to specifically, you talk about YouTube tutorials, obviously your father, in learning how to become a barber and learning different techniques and things like that?
I wouldn't say anybody in particular again, but I would say guys like Vic Lenz, who kind of made a little bit more of barber more into like a conversation, getting to know the person, talking about something meaningful, talking about something, uplifting and even godly. Guys like Vic Lenz kind of changed the way that I look at this opportunity to serve, and also just like practice what I'm good at. So
yeah, so you see the haircut then more as you like to get to know the person that you're cutting the hair for, really just get to know them as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, like we get in such a flow of classes and our schoolwork and everything like that. Sometimes we forget, like, hey, we need to spend a little bit of time talking about spiritual things, or opening up a little bit, or like talking about church or something like that. And to be honest, I've had really great conversations with various different guys about their faith, about spiritual things, and guys that were once strangers now I know on a deeper level just from something as simple as a haircut. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's really moving. Do you want to tell me maybe a little bit why you decided to choose the name Eid Fades for the business?
Yeah. So when I first started, I actually only knew how to use the clippers. I don't really know how to use the scissors. And I really like giving fades. That's pretty much it. I mean, Eid Fades kind of went together, and the name kind of stuck. So I don't know, if you hear Eid Fades, you probably think Elijah Eid. So
no other names in mind, just kind of rolled off the tongue there, just worked out.
What's that?
No other names in mind, or
any other names for the business?
Yeah, Eid Fades just kind of
Eid
came to you.
Fades was kind of just it. Yeah, it just kind of stuck.
Kale's getting a nice fade here right now. Seeing the start of it, looking good so far. So how long have you been cutting hair?
Yeah, so I'd say 3 years now, or since senior year of high school. Yeah,
okay.
So I'm a junior now. About a year before I got to college, and yeah, it started out kind of rough. I didn't have too many really terrible haircuts, but they definitely weren't the greatest. And now I've kind of mastered things. So well, not mastered things, but
Yeah, so you maybe want to talk a little bit about the transition from the haircuts and how it looked maybe in high school, and then coming here to Messiah with the scheduling, just getting busier in life, how you schedule things. Do you have any clients back home that maybe you still do that?
No,
back from the beginning?
No, nobody back home. Just kind of like my immediate family. But as far as the haircuts, I'll say they're much better since senior year of high school. I'm glad he's not getting one of my cuts from senior high school. I'm getting one now.
Taylor,
a little more experience under my belt.
Are you glad that you're not getting one of his?
I'm very glad. I've seen some of his work through Instagram and stuff like that, and I'm happy to get a haircut from him because he does some good work.
So any moving more into the haircuts themselves, any more design work that you might do sometimes? Different people ask for.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, most guys will come in and just kind of ask for like a typical haircut, nothing crazy, maybe a fade. So really, I'll go out if I'm given a design. I'll usually ask them and say, hey, I think a line would look pretty cool. Maybe get a line in the back of the head or something like that, or a little design where I can kind of freestyle a little bit, show kind of what I can do. But yeah, so that's just kind of part of the art form, and not too many guys ask for them, but yeah.
Is there a favorite design that you have done that whether someone else came up with or it was kind of you freestyling, as you said, that you can remember as your favorite or maybe even the best that you've done?
That's a good one. I mean, most commonly would be just a simple line, but I've had one where a guy had an arc kind of going back here, or even one guy had a buzz cut and he had a little swirl kind of going like that, if that kind of makes sense. Those are some pretty cool ones that I've kind of been able to freestyle with, but yeah.
Okay. So is there any hairstyles or things that you have maybe been wanting to try that just no one's asked for yet, you just haven't had the opportunity, maybe not the right equipment?
I would say not the drop fade, he's getting the drop fade, but a burst fade is one of the least commonly asked for. But there are some guys that do ask for it, and it's kind of it's a joy because I like the challenge of it. It's a little bit different. And a burst fade with kind of like long hair going back. It's a cool haircut that I don't always get to try. So yeah.
Right. So before we go to break here, we're gonna zoom in on Caleb, look at some of the progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Should I step away?
I don't know if you can see it.
I'll try to move in the light.
In the back, it's starting to come along. A lot less hair than we started with here for Caleb.
Already looks better though.
It already does look better. Yeah, this is just the start. Don't worry, we're not leaving it with a line like this.
we still got a good ways to go. But
Don't go anywhere, Messiah. We will be right back after this break.
Messiah University has helped me to see my career anew. As I've journeyed through my life, I've had the opportunity to be both businessman, missionary, and now using my experiences in my education to grow other people. And so I'm excited about the opportunities I have now to see myself progress and develop the next generation of leaders.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
Sort of under the impression that I needed to find like one thing that was my thing, and that there was somehow greater purpose in finding that one thing. But what I learned from studying at Messiah with a liberal arts education, with an education that really dignifies a number of pursuits, was that yes, I'm called to certain things in certain times in my life, but the adventure continues. All the things that God has given us are good things. They all can be ways in which we can further the kingdom, ways in which we can do good in our world. And so the adventure of finding which one to engage in at which time and how to do the best you can with the opportunity before you is one that we should all be enjoying, that God has given us. And that's a perspective that I credit Messiah with helping me form and helping me see.
We don't want our students to feel like they have to wait until they've graduated to start serving and meeting the needs of society. So we want students to have an opportunity to work on projects that meet real needs even while they're students in the program. Messiah students are exciting to work with because they understand that God has uniquely gifted them to do something, and they're excited to follow Him in that and to follow Him in their careers.
One of my best moments as a student here at Messiah was when I was traveling to Mexico with a collaboratory.
The collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
I learned so many amazing things about just cultural differences and how to adapt and work alongside, not just how to help someone else, but how to empower them to further their lives and also advance my academics in the process. So that is by far one of my favorite memories from Messiah.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. We are still in the middle of a live haircut right here for Caleb Kukin. Caleb, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. This has been a pleasant experience. I don't know if I can ever say I've been on air while getting a haircut, but this is pretty sweet. I know we mentioned before, I decided to go with the drop fade here. I had to with Eads fades. I mean, he's a master at the fades.
You definitely gave me a challenge.
Can you talk me through the process of a drop fade or just fades in general? Like, what do you do to kind of make that blend happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I'll do is probably debulk with a little bit of a bigger guard, maybe something like a 4, just to get everything debulked. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead with the trimmers here, these guys created the line that you guys just saw, the bald line, kind of giving the outline of what the haircut's going to look like, but everything below it's pretty much bald, right? And then when I'm looking at it, right, so with Caleb, I'm kind of looking at his head shape. How is it going to kind of flow? How is it going to kind of look? If I keep it a little bit heavier in the back here, kind of the crown head, etc. And there's just some things I keep in mind as I'm kind of giving the structure and then blending up from the skin to the top,
Yeah, I mean, you obviously cut a lot of people and you get to talk with a lot of people, but we kind of want to find out a little bit about you. What's your major? Like, what do you come to Messiah to study?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually an applied health science major. I came in with a concentration of exercise science. I was kind of looking to be a strength and conditioning coach, work with athletes, but then this past spring, I switched over to pre-PT. So Messiah is a great science program here. It's kind of one of the reasons I came here, felt called to come here, felt some peace coming here. So the pre-PT has been like a great route for me, and Lord willing, be able to go to grad school and just serve people that way. But yeah, applied health science and a concentration of pre-PT. Yeah.
Yeah, so no barber shop in your future. You're going to go right into PT.
Right. Yeah, PT and the barbershop don't really coincide, but yeah, I always say, like, I've considered the barber route. I've considered maybe opening up my own shop or something like that. But I always say, as long as I'm able to cut my own hair and my son's hair, maybe some friends, I think that'd be sufficient for me in the future.
So you think you might try to, even with the busyness of a PT schedule, you might try to keep it at least as a bit of a side hustle?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I've got a steady group of guys that look to eFaze for cuts, so you know, I just try to be there for them as well, and also make some money, because you know, life is tough. So
can you tell us a little bit about? I mean, we talked about the conversations that you love to have, getting to know other people, but outside of that, anything else? What really just is your favorite part about being a barber?
Yeah, favorite part about being a barber. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert. So I get to like meet new guys that, again, like I never would have met before. I get to have conversations on a day-to-day basis. I'm working with clients one-on-one. I think that'll really prepare me for the future when I have, you know, maybe my own PT clinic, and I've got to strike up small talk with, you know, anybody in general. I think just having those people skills, having an ability to minister to people as well, talk about things that are, you know, things of the faith or personal things, etc. Like that to me goes beyond like a nice haircut, a nice fade, you know, the confidence that someone gets, although those things are very important.
So looking at the haircuts you've done, what would you say, we talked about some of the design work that you've done, but what would be the most difficult cut you've done, most difficult kind of fade that you've done? I know you said this one, Caleb gave you a little bit of a challenge here.
Yeah, a little bit of a challenge. I think it just depends on the hair type. There are certain styles that are a little bit more difficult, but certain hair types are harder to blend. Sometimes you have somebody with really light hair and you have to really create that contrast. Caleb's got a little bit more of that. Sometimes you've got somebody with a texture that's like, I've never really worked with before, so I have to figure out how to do that. And maybe I've seen similar ones. So I don't know about a particular like hairstyle specifically, but I would say like texture is one of those things I look at where like, okay, yeah, that's going to be determining how tough the cut's going to be. Yeah.
So any other, I feel like the texture probably is a bit of a learning curve, you said, from person to person. Any other learning curves that you've had to adapt through while learning how to cut hair?
Yeah, I think just learning how to blend things well and getting an eye for it. I really have a natural eye, I would say, too, like kind of what looks good, what doesn't. But maybe when I was a little bit younger, I would have said, yeah, that's blended up perfectly. Now I can see a little bit of the intricacy is like, okay, from this, there's a little bit of a grading here. It's not really that great. There's a little bit of a line here that I can maybe blend out. So just having an eye for it over time can help me not only like see the lines I need to blend up, but also maybe learn how to take care of them a little quicker. Yeah.
So balancing being a barber with schoolwork and and applied health science, PT, those are not light course loads. How do you balance that, and what does a typical, I guess, work hours look for you? If you can, it's not really I'm sure it's kind of more of a as-is thing, you talk about your scheduling, but how do you balance that? What do the typical work hours look like for you as the barber as opposed to the student?
Absolutely, yeah, that was something I definitely had to learn how to balance because, hey, look, I'm here to be a student first. This is where this is my purpose, my time here. But I'd say throughout the week, I'll cut anywhere from 2 to 10 guys. This is where I usually like to keep it with school. Now, could I really grow it and reach out and try to get more and more and more? Yeah, I could, but I think with about 2 to 10 guys, varies by test, exam, etc. That's kind of a good spot for me. And then what I'll do is, because it takes time to set up and whatnot, I will just try to like keep it certain days of the week so I can get maybe 3 or 4 done in a row, depending on how it looks. And then go back to studying and labs and papers and tests and whatnot. So I've definitely had to learn, hey, school comes first. You know, grades are more important, and maybe a couple you know, extra dollars on the side. But yeah, it's been a learning curve on how to balance that with my schoolwork. Yeah.
So right now we want to, where's Caleb in the process of this fade that he's getting done here?
Absolutely, yeah, Caleb's almost done. Just kind of blending the sides up a little more, and then once I blend the sides up, I'll have to kind of transition them between the top, blend them into the top. So I kind of look at the haircut as like the sides and the top. So as long as I can get the sides right, usually I start with the sides first, right? For the purposes of, you know, YBTV, I had to go take care of the top, you know, off camera. But yeah, once I get the sides looking how I want to, they kind of really pop, they give the, you know, the fade that I want. Then I'll start blending it into the top and then going with the lineup, and Caleb will be on his way looking fresh and confident.
So Caleb, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good right now. I can kind of see in the camera there, the fade is definitely starting to take shape. And I mean, this is honestly impressive from Elijah. I don't know anybody else who could go out on camera and just start cutting people.
No mirrors around. Like I said, we had to get the top done, so we had a mirror in the back. But this is, I've never been to a barbershop without a mirror. He's kind of doing it just kind of from I guess a lot of repetitions at this point. And
absolutely.
Do you have any advice maybe for someone who would wants to become a barber that you could give them from your experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would just say, if you have somebody who knows how to cut hair, ask them. They're probably going to tell you a lot of things that you would have, you know, had to learn by yourself. Another one would be maybe, again, watching those YouTube videos. There's great stuff out there. And then practice on different hair types too, because you've got guys like Caleb, you've got guys that are different, you know, different races, etc. You've got different hair textures, so you got to learn how to be a Swiss Army knife with those things, and still be able to serve everybody well and give, you know, great haircuts to a lot of people. So those three things. In addition, I'd say like never stop learning, never stop improving. You know, take pictures of your cuts, look back at them and say, okay, I see that was a couple months ago. That kind of didn't really drop the way I wanted it to. The gradient didn't. This was a little bit darker, etc. So be a perfectionist and keep perfecting your craft, I'd say, over time.
So over the years that you've been doing Eid fades now.
Yeah.
As you said, we should know you by. How has this journey and getting to cut people's hair just affected you personally?
That's a good question. I think it's affected me personally in that I've learned to get my priorities right. So I know that school is number one now. It's something I didn't really care about freshman year as much. But it's also given me business skills. It's given me a little bit of sales skills. It's given me like an opportunity to like view my work as a calling and a place where I can minister to people or just receive even too. Sometimes I'll have a guy sit in the chair and he just starts talking about something and I'm like, wow, I'm getting blessed by this, by just what's coming out of his mouth. So being able to not only balance work and school, but also be able to incorporate faith into what I do is really rewarding and something that's like kind of impacted me personally, I'd say. Yeah.
So for anyone who has enjoyed watching Caleb get his hair cut live on air and might want to get added to the rotation of people's hairs that you cut.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What is the best way to reach you for anyone interested in Eid Fade services?
Yeah, that's a great question. So probably won't give out my personal phone number on air, but I'll say my Instagram is ead.fades, so EADE.fades. What you can do is go ahead and check out all the work I have on there. It's a bunch of guys. You can maybe find a hairstyle you like, and find one you don't like. I don't really care. But then go ahead and just book a spot on the calendar, and that way like it'll pop up for me, and then we'll get it happening, and I'll be able to get you a nice haircut where you don't have to leave campus. That's another thing. Like some guys don't have a car, don't really want to go out and find a barber. So yeah, the Instagram is probably the best way to do it. Yeah.
So is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything that we might have missed?
No, I think that's it. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to kind of show what I can do and explain a little bit more about who I am and what I'm doing on campus, and like able to bless Caleb. So yeah, I think that's great.
So I'm pretty sure we might have some before pictures. Let's take a look at what we had of Caleb before. We might not have that. Oh, we already showed that at the beginning of the show. So as we're looking at Caleb now, pretty much
we're
done
just
here.
The final touches here. Yeah.
I would say you did. I mean, I It looks, from my non-trained eye, it looks like a pretty good fade, Caleb.
I mean, this is my favorite part of a haircut. I feel like every guy knows that this is like the best part of getting a haircut.
The lineup, yeah.
The lineup. You kind of mentioned the different hair types. Do you have like a specific hair type that you'd say is like the hardest type of hair type? Like I obviously have really straight hair, but like is like cutting really curly hair like more difficult, especially
really
for, like,
curly.
fades?
Yeah, really curly hair and kind of similar to mine is a little bit tougher. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, yeah. Straighter hair I found to be easier, and it's the one I work with the most.
Okay.
But yeah, curlier, kind of coarser textured, darker hair is sometimes a little bit tougher, but still able to handle and manage. So yeah, we're just about wrapping up here. I'll go ahead and put the final touches and then put some product in for Caleb so he can kind of
We'll see how he
walk out.
Like I've seen Caleb, he does his hair up a little bit.
I do. I try.
He does do his hair up a little bit.
I haven't been able to lately though. My hair was starting to get a little wild, as you probably saw in the before pictures. I've been wearing hats to class, so hopefully I'll look good for Thanksgiving when I see my family. I'll tell them I got it cut live on TV.
They can just tell them to watch it. They can see.
They probably are watching it.
Say hi to the Kukins out there. Seeing him. This is nothing like we've done before.
No.
And I say thank you, Elijah, for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
I mean, Caleb, you look great. You always look great, but
yeah, let's get a little
fresh
product
little
in there,
fade here.
Spike it up a little
Get
bit.
We'll finish off this cut for you, Caleb. I mean,
what kind of hair paste are we using here?
Oh, this is a little matte paste from Tribal Chimp. A little promo in there for you. But you kind of like to spike it up, don't you?
Yep.
Or kind of keep it a little messy.
all right, then Caleb, whenever we're done here, whenever Elijah is ready, we're gonna have you stand up, do a little 360.
Yep.
Should be good. Yeah,
that
you
messy
kind
look.
of do it how you want to, and it should be good.
All right.
What are we thinking here? Caleb Kukin, first ever live on air haircut
Can you see it in
on
the light?
YBTV.
Little bit of a drop. Oh, the shadow's not doing me dirty.
No, I promise. It looks the camera does the lighting is a little.
Lighting
It
is
looks,
a little
looks
off, but I
great
think
back
it's
here. Yeah, how about that? I mean, again, like we talked about it.
Fantastic.
We talked about it. Doing it in this environment right now, that is impressive. It is definitely not the easiest thing to do. And Caleb, you do look great. And that is all the time we have for tonight. Have a good time, Messiah.